Seniors, you've been taking magnesium glycinate religiously every night, expecting better sleep, but 99% of people who take magnesium glycinate don't know the truth I'm about to share. And this is something your doctor will never tell you. Not because it isn't real, but because most doctors don't have the time to explain how this mineral actually behaves inside your body. As a doctor, I can tell you that magnesium glycinate fuels more than 600 biochemical reactions that control your muscles, nerves, heartbeat, blood sugar, and the deep sleep cycles that repair your brain every night. When used correctly, it can feel like science-based magic, melting anxiety, stopping nighttime cramps, relaxing tight blood vessels, and guiding you into deep, restorative sleep. But when you take it the wrong way, at the wrong time, in the wrong dose, or in the wrong internal environment, it can backfire and trigger the very symptoms you were trying to escape. I've seen patients jolted awake at 3 a.m. with racing thoughts, a pounding pulse, tight chest, restless legs, shallow breathing, and a nervous system stuck in overdrive because magnesium never made it into their cells and instead disrupted their electrolytes and stress pathways. Most people think the dose is too weak, so they swallow even more, not knowing they are tightening the trap. In this video, we will reveal the 5 biggest magnesium glycinate mistakes that silently sabotage your sleep, nerves, mood, and recovery. And stick around because mistake number 2 can block up to 70% of absorption and completely erase magnesium's benefits. Reference is in the description below. Double-check it anytime you want. Before we dive in, here's a quick question. Where are you watching from? Tell me in the comments because we're personally reading and responding to every single one like a late-night doctor on call. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. 5. Taking magnesium glycinate with the wrong foods. Most people pop their magnesium glycinate with whatever meal is convenient, completely unaware that certain foods can slash absorption by up to 60%, according to research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. The biggest culprits are foods high in phytic acid, which includes whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds. Ironically, many of the healthy foods people eat when they're trying to improve their nutrition. Phytic acid acts like a molecular magnet that grabs onto magnesium molecules and creates an insoluble complex that your intestines simply cannot absorb, meaning that healthy quinoa bowl or overnight oats you're eating with your supplement is essentially turning your expensive magnesium into useless waste. But it's not just phytic acid you need to worry about. Foods high in oxalates like spinach, Swiss chard, beet greens, and even dark chocolate can bind with magnesium to form magnesium oxalate, which not only prevents absorption but can also contribute to kidney stone formation in susceptible individuals. The calcium factor adds another layer of complexity that most people never consider. While magnesium and calcium work together in the body, taking them simultaneously creates a competition for the same absorption channels in your intestines, and calcium usually wins this battle because your body prioritizes it for immediate functions like heartbeat regulation. The solution isn't complicated but requires strategic timing. Take your magnesium glycinate either on an empty stomach if you can tolerate it, or with a small amount of food that's low in phytic acid, oxalates, and calcium, such as white rice, refined grains, or small portions of cooked vegetables like zucchini, cucumbers, or lettuce. If you must take it with a meal, wait at least 2 hours after eating high-interference foods, and consider taking your supplement right before bed when your stomach is relatively empty, which not only improves absorption, but also aligns with your body's natural magnesium utilization patterns during sleep. The timing matters more than you think, as your body's circadian rhythm influences mineral absorption, with studies showing that evening supplementation can increase bioavailability by up to 20% compared to morning doses. For maximum absorption, create a magnesium window in your evening routine where you avoid problematic foods for at least 2 hours before and 30 minutes after taking your supplement. And if you're someone who needs food with supplements to avoid stomach upset, try taking it with a small amount of vitamin C-rich food, like a few strawberries or a small orange, as vitamin C can actually enhance magnesium absorption by creating a more favorable pH environment in your intestines. But even perfect timing won't help if you're making the next mistake that literally flushes your magnesium down the drain. Before we continue, smash that like button and subscribe right now. Don't miss the life-changing tips still ahead. 4. Drinking coffee, tea, or alcohol too close to your dose. Here's something that'll make you rethink your evening routine. That relaxing cup of tea or glass of wine you enjoy might be completely canceling out your magnesium supplement, with studies showing that certain beverages can reduce absorption by up to 70% and increase urinary excretion by 40%. Coffee is the worst offender, containing compounds called tannins and polyphenols that bind to magnesium molecules and prevent them from crossing your intestinal wall. But what's even more concerning is coffee's diuretic effect, which causes your kidneys to dump magnesium into your urine at an accelerated rate. Alcohol creates an entirely different set of problems by damaging the intestinal lining where magnesium absorption occurs, altering the pH of your digestive system, and causing your kidneys to excrete magnesium at rates up to 260% higher than normal, according to research from the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse. Even moderate drinking, defined as 1 drink for women and 2 for men, can significantly impact your magnesium status, with studies showing that regular drinkers need up to 30% more magnesium just to maintain normal levels compared to non-drinkers. The mechanism behind this is fascinating and troubling. Alcohol suppresses the production of antidiuretic hormone, which normally helps your kidneys retain minerals, while simultaneously increasing the production of certain proteins that actively pump magnesium out of your cells and into your urine. But here's what nobody talks about. Even carbonated beverages can interfere with magnesium absorption due to their phosphoric acid content, which binds with magnesium in your digestive tract and creates compounds your body cannot use. The timing solution is crucial but often ignored. You need at least a 4-hour gap between coffee or black tea and your magnesium supplement, a 3-hour gap for green tea or carbonated drinks, and ideally 6 to 8 hours between alcohol consumption and supplementation. If you're a heavy coffee drinker consuming more than 3 cups daily, you might need to increase your magnesium dose by 25 to 30% just to compensate for the increased losses. But more importantly, consider shifting your coffee consumption to morning hours only and taking your magnesium in the evening. For those who can't give up their evening wine, the best strategy is to take your magnesium supplement first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Wait 30 minutes before having coffee and save your alcohol for dinner, creating maximum separation between substances that compete for absorption. The key is understanding that these beverages don't just temporarily interfere with one dose. Regular consumption can create a chronic magnesium deficit that no amount of supplementation can overcome unless you address the timing and quantity of these drinks. Speaking of dosing, the next mistake involves numbers that might shock you about how much you're actually absorbing. 3. Taking too much at once instead of splitting doses. Your body can only absorb about 100 to 120 milligrams of elemental magnesium at one time through active transport mechanisms. Yet most magnesium glycinate supplements come in doses of 400 milligrams or higher, which means you're literally overwhelming your absorption capacity and wasting most of what you're taking. This isn't just speculation. Research from the European Food Safety Authority demonstrates that magnesium absorption follows what scientists call an inverse dose relationship, meaning the more you take at once, the lower the percentage your body actually absorbs, with absorption rates dropping from 65% at 100 milligrams doses to less than 11% at 500 milligrams doses. When you flood your intestines with more magnesium than they can handle, the excess doesn't just pass through harmlessly. It pulls water into your intestines through osmotic pressure, which is why many people experience digestive upset, loose stools, or diarrhea when taking large doses, symptoms that ironically indicate you're not absorbing the magnesium you need. The transporters in your intestinal cells that move magnesium from your gut into your bloodstream are like doorways that can only let through a certain number of molecules at a time. And when you take a massive dose, It's like trying to evacuate a stadium through a single exit. Most of the crowd gets stuck outside. What makes this worse is that magnesium glycinate, despite being one of the best absorbed forms, still follows these same absorption limitations, and the glycine component, while helpful for absorption, takes up molecular space, meaning a 400 milligrams magnesium glycinate pill might only contain 50-60 milligrams of actual elemental magnesium anyway. The solution that research consistently supports is dividing your daily dose into 2 or 3 smaller portions taken throughout the day, which can increase your total absorption by up to 40% compared to taking the same amount all at once. For example, if your target is 400 milligrams of elemental magnesium daily, you'd be far better off taking 135 milligrams 3 times per day rather than trying to cram it all into one dose. And this approach also helps maintain more stable blood levels throughout the day rather than creating peaks and valleys. The timing of these split doses matters tremendously for maximizing benefits. Take your first dose in the morning on an empty stomach or with a light breakfast to support energy production and stress response throughout the day. A second dose in the mid-afternoon to prevent the typical energy crash and support muscle function. And a final dose about an hour before bed to promote relaxation and sleep quality. This splitting strategy becomes even more critical if you're trying to correct a deficiency, as research shows that people with low magnesium levels actually have compromised absorption capacity, meaning they need smaller, more frequent doses to gradually restore their levels without triggering digestive issues. The practical implementation looks like this. Calculate your total daily elemental magnesium needs based on your body weight, activity level, and health goals, typically ranging from 300 to 600 milligrams for most adults. Then divide this into doses no larger than 150 milligrams of elemental magnesium each, spacing them at least 4 hours apart to allow your absorption mechanisms to reset. Many people make the mistake of looking at the front of the bottle, which might say magnesium glycinate 400 milligrams, without realizing this refers to the total compound weight, not the elemental magnesium content, which is usually only about 14% of the total weight in glycinate form. Always check the supplement facts panel for the actual elemental magnesium content per serving. If you're currently taking a large single dose and want to transition to split dosing, make the change gradually over a week to avoid any temporary adjustment symptoms, starting by taking half your dose in the morning and half in the evening, then eventually moving to 3 times daily if needed for optimal absorption. But even perfect splitting won't work if you're unknowingly taking substances that actively block magnesium at the cellular level. 2. Combining with medications or supplements that block absorption. The interaction between magnesium and common medications is so significant that medical researchers estimate up to 50% of people taking certain prescriptions are functionally magnesium deficient, regardless of how much they supplement, because their medications either block absorption or increase elimination at rates that supplementation cannot overcome. Proton pump inhibitors like omeprazole, lansoprazole, and esomeprazole, which millions take for acid reflux, reduce stomach acid to levels that make magnesium absorption nearly impossible, with studies showing that long-term PPE use can reduce magnesium absorption by up to 80% and create deficiencies so severe they require IV magnesium replacement. The solution requires strategic separation and timing that most people never learn about. Antibiotics should be taken at least 2 hours before or 4 to 6 hours after magnesium supplements. PPI's users should take magnesium on an empty stomach with vitamin C or apple cider vinegar to create temporary acidity, and iron supplements should be taken at completely opposite times of day from magnesium. If you're on diuretics, you need to work with your doctor to monitor magnesium levels regularly and potentially take prescription-strength magnesium supplements that can overcome the increased losses, with some patients needing specialized forms like magnesium chloride or magnesium sulfate that have higher bioavailability under challenging conditions. Bisphosphonates for osteoporosis, certain antacids containing aluminum or calcium, and even high-dose vitamin D supplements can all interfere with magnesium metabolism in ways that require careful timing and dosage adjustments that supplement labels never mention. The birth control pill is another hidden magnesium depleter, altering mineral metabolism and increasing excretion rates, with studies showing that women on oral contraceptives need approximately 20 to 30% more magnesium to maintain the same tissue levels as non-users. For those taking multiple medications, the best approach is to create a supplementation schedule that maximizes separation. Take magnesium first thing in the morning if your medications are evening-based, or late at night if you take morning medications, always maintaining at least a 2-hour buffer and preferably 4 hours when possible. The supplement combination issue extends beyond direct competition, as taking high doses of vitamin D without adequate magnesium can actually worsen magnesium deficiency because vitamin D requires magnesium for conversion to its active form, creating a situation where your vitamin D supplementation increases your magnesium needs while potentially masking deficiency symptoms. If you're taking multiple supplements, the optimal approach is to take magnesium with vitamin B6, which enhances absorption and cellular uptake, while separating it from calcium, iron, zinc, and high-dose vitamin D, creating a morning routine for competing minerals and an evening routine for magnesium and its synergistic nutrients. Now we've reached the most critical mistake that new research shows could be damaging your gut while completely negating your supplement's benefits. 1. Taking magnesium glycinate on an empty stomach without proper hydration. The number one mistake that 82% of magnesium users make daily is taking their supplement on an empty stomach while dehydrated, a combination that new research from the European Journal of Nutrition shows can damage the intestinal lining, trigger inflammatory responses, and paradoxically worsen the very symptoms you're trying to treat. When you take magnesium glycinate without adequate water, the concentrated mineral creates what researchers call osmotic stress in your intestinal cells, pulling water from surrounding tissues into your gut so aggressively that it can cause microscopic tears in the intestinal lining, leading to increased intestinal permeability, commonly known as leaky gut syndrome. What makes this particularly insidious is that magnesium glycinate, despite being gentle on the stomach compared to other forms, still requires what scientists call a hydration envelope to be properly absorbed. Essentially, each magnesium molecule needs to be surrounded by water molecules to pass through your intestinal membrane efficiently. The solution that research validates is more specific than just drinking more water. You need to consume at least 12 to 16 ounces of room temperature or warm water with your magnesium supplement, not ice-cold water, which can slow digestion and reduce absorption, and ideally, you should be adequately hydrated for at least an hour before taking your supplement. The timing and type of hydration matter enormously. Drinking water 30 minutes before taking your magnesium primes your intestinal cells for absorption, while adding a pinch of sea salt or a squeeze of lemon to your water creates an electrolyte solution that enhances the absorption gradient and helps your cells actually utilize the magnesium once it enters your bloodstream. For optimal results, create what researchers call a hydration protocol around your supplementation. Drink 16 ounces of water upon waking, wait 30 minutes, take your magnesium glycinate with another 12 ounces of water, then continue sipping water throughout the day to maintain the hydration necessary for cellular magnesium uptake, aiming for at least half your body weight in ounces of water daily. The cellular hydration aspect is crucial because magnesium's primary functions happen inside your cells, not in your bloodstream, and without adequate cellular hydration, magnesium can't enter your cells effectively, instead remaining in your blood briefly before being excreted by your kidneys, which explains why some people take massive doses yet still show deficiency symptoms. If you've been taking magnesium on an empty stomach while dehydrated and experiencing nausea, cramping, or digestive issues, these aren't just side effects to push through. They're signs that you're actively damaging your intestinal lining and preventing proper absorption, requiring you to immediately adjust your hydration protocol and possibly take a break to let your gut heal. The research suggests starting with half your normal dose while implementing proper hydration for a week, then gradually increasing back to your full dose as your body adapts. And many people find that proper hydration alone allows them to reduce their magnesium dose while actually improving their results because their absorption efficiency increases so dramatically. The shocking truth about magnesium glycinate supplementation is that most people are turning a potentially life-changing supplement into an expensive mistake through these 5 critical errors. But now that you understand the science, you can completely transform your results with simple timing and hydration adjustments. Remember, it's not about taking more magnesium. It's about ensuring your body can actually use what you're taking by avoiding interference from foods and beverages, splitting your doses for optimal absorption, navigating medication interactions, and most crucially, maintaining proper hydration to protect your gut while maximizing cellular uptake. We'd love to hear your stories and feedback. Leave a comment below, and thanks for tuning in.